Welcome back to another edition of TikTok Hot Takes. In this series, we go through TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and any other social media platform where I find absurd takes and discuss them and give my opinion on them. Let's run the intro and start with the first take.
But it's like yours on slow-mo. Good news, I can't tell where you at. Looking to the heavens, trying to yell where you at. Why pain gotta chain us?
Let's build the all-time starting five for each NBA team. Boston Celtics.
This one's going to be quick.
Larry Bird's the 3. 5 is Bill Russell.
I think you do have to put Larry at the 4. So, Paul Pierce has to run the 3.
Are we leaving KG off this team?
Yes.
No, we're not leaving KG off this team.
KG is not better than most of the all-time bigs they had.
KG is better than Paul Pierce.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
All time,
On
but
the
I don't know about him.
Celtics?
On the Celtics, he didn't win the
Yeah.
Finals MVP.
No.
He was
He
better
wasn't
than.
better than-
Yes,
He was
he
not better than Paul Pierce when they won their ring.
No, he was not. No, I'm not going
No,
for that. I'm not
no,
going for
no.
that.
You're
I'm not going
crazy.
for that.
He
I'm
finished
not
higher.
going for that.
If you guys would stop repeating the same thing over and over, he finished higher in MVP voting that year. What are you talking about? He was the best defensive player in the league still. If you guys don't think that KG was the best player on that Celtics team, there's no chance you should have him over Giannis if you don't believe that.
Why are we bringing up old man?
I'm just saying, if you don't think that he was the best player on a championship team, he can't be over Giannis. That's the only reason why it's close.
It was 1A, 1B.
Guys, he was 3rd in MVP voting that year. He won the DPOI that year. Paul Pierce got one singular MVP vote. Kevin Garnett was a better player.
That's fair.
So I'm going to just stop right here. How is Kevin Garnett not better than Paul Pierce? KG led that 2008 Celtics team defensively, and that team is one of the greatest defensive teams of all time. Garnett, in my opinion, was way more valuable to that Celtics team. Now, I'm not denying Pierce's scoring ability, but he just doesn't touch the defensive ability of Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett also wasn't a bad scorer, as he won an MVP before, but he knew his role and wasn't going to try to be 0-4 Kevin Garnett. Instead, be who he was and win the NBA championship.
Can I give you my top 10 point guards really quick? And I mentioned my top 5, which is Magic and Curry and Oscar Robertson and Bob Cousy and Isaiah Thomas as my top 5. Next 5 at Chris Paul, John Stockton, just a hair behind him. Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, just a hair behind him. And then Walt Frazier, if he counts as a point guard, which I think he does. Frazier is the one that got lost to history a little bit. He has the Game 7 in '69 as one of the great individual games in the history of the league and wins them a title. He wins 2 titles. He is probably the best defensive guard of his entire generation. Was a famous big game guy and had good stats. And his career went about as long as it should have gone in that era where they're flying coach and they're playing on Converses. And I think that's the top.
So I see that we're underrating Chris Paul, Steve Nash, and Jason Kidd. I seriously don't understand the Bob Cousy glaze. I really don't see it. He was in an era that benefited him because without him on those Russell teams, he will be able to win those championships or have that many accolades. Chris Paul, who I think is at least a top 5 point guard of all time, is one of the most all-around guards of all time. Paul is in the unfortunate category of him being an underperformer for some reason. I have a video being made where I break this myth. Anyways, Paul is a better playmaker, defender, and scorer than most of the guards on his list. I would try to defend Kidd and Nash, but someone who I feel was more disrespected was Christopher J. Paul.
Wemby is the best player I've ever seen touch a basketball. And after seeing this man, and after spending my life watching this man play basketball, I didn't think I would say that so early in my life. I thought I had to be like 50 before I started seeing someone better than him touch a basketball. He ain't even out the league yet. Yeah, Wemby's the best player ever.
To watch Wemby and go, this is the best I ever seen. What's swaying you?
Bro, you know he don't believe that shit.
No, I absolutely do believe that. He is doing things I've never seen before by anybody. He's doing things that shouldn't be possible. That, for me, makes him the best in the world. He's doing it on both sides at a rate and at a level comparable to be best in the world. I'm sorry. If you're putting up best in the world like numbers and efforts on defense and on offense, I have no issue saying you're...
Now, I think it's a little premature of a take. Wemby, I think, has the potential to be one of the greatest players of all time, and we can see it. But I think he has to perform in other big stages for me to get that title. So yeah, we can revisit this in like 5 to 10 years, and then we can agree to sue. But right now, it's a little bit too early.
I need some thunder glaze today.
Their
kicking
floor
ass.
is just so high. Like, they're so hard to beat because even if they're not scoring well, they'll just tee up on defense, and all of a sudden, we're just in a game that's 98-97.
And then all of a sudden, they just find guys as well. Like AJ Mitchell is probably going to win 6 Man of the Year.
Can you imagine the season where SGA, Chet, and Jada play 75+ games together?
I don't even remember the last time I saw Lou Dort play, and they're still winning.
Alex Caruso
Shout out to the Blazers, though. The Blazers packed him up.
on the second night of a back-to-back.
The Thunder are currently one of the best defensive teams of all time, and we are seeing it with our very eyes. Again, I don't know the order of these videos, but I have a Thunder video being made while I break down how good this team really is right now. The way that Shea isn't even playing in fourth quarters, but still averaging 30 points is insane right now. J-Dub is finally back, and without him, this team is playing historic basketball. I watch this team and get upset because the way this team is able to win games and be one of the best teams in the NBA while also still having draft capital is actually insane. Patience really is key because it took some time, but this is indeed the best team in the NBA, and we are potentially witnessing a dynasty being made.
Defense gets overvalued. The best offensive players cannot be viable defensively, and they can be top 10 players.
For sure.
There is no defensive player that is a 100 defensive player, but lacks so many offensive skills that can ever be a top 10 player. Rudy Gobert is like the peak example of that.
In this time,
like Rudy Gobert is an elite defender because of his offensive ability, which isn't even terrible because he sets screens very well. He still finishes highly, but he just can't really catch the ball consistently.
Like just as an example of an old era, but like how about someone like Ben Wallace? Ben Wallace was never top. He was never any like top 15.
He was never that.
But he was one. We talking about defense. He's top
like,
five.
look at Tony Allen. He's one of the best perimeter defenders ever. He's role player because the offensive skill didn't match up with it.
I was thinking of an extreme role player like Andre Roberson, or like
who's also an elite defender.
Freaking crazy.
I'm thinking more like Andre Karolinko. He would be like a defensive star.
Karolinko was a good all-around player though.
He was, but I'm saying his numbers was like 12, 7, 8, shit like that. Thinking like guys like
his 04 year was ridiculous.
Defensively, awesome. Like 4 blocks, 3 steals,
primary defensive guys that can maybe give you a little bit of offense, but not really the offensive guy.
Like if we did sliders, I think offense would lean like 70-30. But for the most part, like I think that's how important offense is.
Because defense, we talk about the offensive guys, they can still hold their own to a degree. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of it's the role that you're in.
The facts that too. But if you're able to play that role, you know what I'm saying? Like to be able to be a good team defender, you still need to do that.
Like you're not building a team around a defensive first player. Who has ever done that in like NBA history, if we're being honest?
Was Giannis a defensive first player when they started doing it?
I still don't. I can't even say that.
How about Kawhi Leonard?
I can't even say
they
that.
Didn't really build the team around him.
Because at some point their offense like just caught up to their defense to where they were so elite offensive that you can build around
Howard.
them.
Yeah, Dwight Howard's very
good. That is a good shot.
That would be like them because his offense was good, but that other than
defense was crazy.
nuts.
But even then, we're talking about like an A+ on defense and like a B+ on offense.
Yo, sneaky one. Joakim Noah, that 1 year.
Joakim Noah.
Yeah,
defense player of the year.
Yeah, that 1 year. His defense cleared the offense. Wasn't even close.
I think this is the case in the NBA because you can hide bad defensive players better than bad offensive players. Luke is one of the best players in the league because of his ability offensively. He's able to generate points like crazy while also generating baskets for others. But his defense, yeah, we saw how that looked. I wouldn't say offense is way more important. I think they're both equal as in my opinion, my top 5 all time are both some of the best defenders and scorers of all time. When it comes to ranking, it is valued more because you can hide being a bad defender more than being a bad scorer because of how much screen time scoring has in the stat sheet and TV than defense.
Comfortably, Nikola Jokic still the best player in the world. Comfortably.
I don't know how you're sitting up here watching these other players and you comfortably say some dumb shit like that. How are you watching Wemby do what he's doing and be like, oh yeah, there's a guy comfortably better? You're watching Giannis go out here.
I don't know. I understand basketball. Do you understand basketball?
Ooh, he said you don't understand basketball. Ooh.
No, clearly I do. You don't. You clearly have a bias if you think somebody's comfortably better.
I've been higher on Wemby than
now.
everyone up
Clearly.
here. Wemby is one of my favorite players in the league. Shea's one of my favorite players in the league.
You'll put him in Kobe and Steph convos, but Jokic is a step too far.
Yeah, Jokic is a bridge too far.
It is a step too far.
Yeah, he might be better than Kobe and Steph, but Jokic,
I think Jokic is the best player in the world right now, but it isn't uncomfortable. See, when you use these words, it makes it seem like no one's even in the conversation, and that isn't even the case. Giannis, Shea, and Luka all have a seat at this table, and I think it's warranted. Wemby had a seat coming, but his injury really derailed him, and he kind of got schemed against and slowed down his production a little bit. It's kind of crazy how Jokic's season is having another all-time historic season. It just feels like he keeps on picking for some reason. But still, at the end of the season, a conversation will be had, and I will have it myself. Thank you for watching another edition of TikTok Hot Takes. This has been Golden Takes. These are my Golden Takes. Happy 15 days, 15 takes.